Greetings, Iain from RTO here. Now I've had a gargle, my throat feels a little bit better. So, welcome to another classic album review. As you've noticed, we've changed the intros a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed the new graphics, etc. So what have we got for you today? Well, we've got an album from the 90s today, which we don't normally do, sort of thing, but this is a really good album of the 90s. It's by a band called Shakespers Sister, and the album is Hormonally Yours. Now, Shakespers Sister, of course, was formed by ex-Bananarama Siobhan Fahey and an American musician called Marcella Detroit. Now, Hormonally Yours was the second album released by the band, released in February of 1992. The album went on to become a critical and commercial success and got to number 3 in the album charts in the UK. Went platinum, spent 55 weeks on the charts, and they had 3 singles. One of them is their best-selling single, and it was in the top of the hit parade, and that's the thing you don't hear very often, for 8 consecutive weeks, and also was a top 5 in America. We will talk about that later. And the band was Siobhan Fahey on vocals, Marcella Detroit vocals, guitars and programming, harmonicas, Mick Cozy on guitars, Ed Shearmore and Jonathan Perkins keyboards, Iain A.K. Jennifer Maidman bass player, and Steve Ferreira on drums. First track on this album is a really good track called Goodbye Cruel World. I love the start of this. It's quite a poppy rock sound, and the vocals between Siobhan and Marcella are brilliant. You've got one that's really high falsetto, and then you've got Siobhan that's really deep and rich. They really work well on that track. It's one of my favourite tracks on this album. Second track is I Don't Care. Very poppy. It's a nice little song, great bass line that runs through this track. Absolutely really stunning track. Very strong. Third track on the album is My 16th Apology. Again, it's one of them songs where you've got the girl singing, one up in the gods and the other down here, and they just sounds really good. Their harmonies together are fantastic. When you listen to these under the headphones, they are great. Really funky song as well, got a nice catchy beat to it. Really like that one. Then we get a track called Are We In Love Yet? Very funky sound here. Very 90s pop rock, but I still like it. Very good. Emotional Thing. Great guitar work in this. Great harmonica as well. Really an interesting track. Very different from what was going on at the time, but it's a very enjoyable track. Then we get Stay, the classic. The big number 1, their best-selling single. It's a really good track. Remember hearing this for the first time, but wow, this is really good. I love the vocals on this. Siobhan's vocal on this is fantastic. Great track. Black Sky, great guitar work in this one. Lovely piano in this as well. It's a terrific track. Then we get another one of my favourite tracks, The Trouble with Andre. So quirky, nice melody. Some great saxophone on this as well. Really great vocal from the girls, fantastic. Moonchild. Oh, this is Marcella's brilliant on this. She reminds me so much of Kate Bush in places. That sort of sound. We'll be talking about more about Kate Bush obviously tomorrow, but that's why I probably like this track. It reminds me so much of something that Kate Bush would do. Then we get Catwoman. Love this quirky track. Got some nice keyboard and bass. They work really well on this. Fantastic stuff. And another great track, Let Me Entertain You. Love the guitars in this. The keyboard arrangement is really good. But what really makes this track is the harmonies between Siobhan and Marcia. Fantastic. And the last track, second favourite track on this album, Hello, Turn Your Radio On. I love the darkness of this track. It's dark. Arrangement is fantastic, and again, this has got probably one of the best vocals between Marcia and Siobhan. Fantastic track. This is one of my favourite albums of the 90s. There wasn't so much going on in rock in the 90s at all, so this is one of them albums from the 90s that I really enjoy. It's very alternative. It's got some really strong songs on it. Great musicianship, great lyrics. It's an all-round album that stood the test of time. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. But if you would like me to do a full album ranking of Shakespears' Sister, you know what you do, pop it in the bottom. Okay, that's all for today. I'm going to try and nurse this sore throat, tongue, what's going on. Really annoying. Can't eat, can't talk properly. Oh dear, I'm falling apart. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, and we're having a ladies' day on RTO. We're going to be celebrating more female artists, and tomorrow we're looking at an album ranking of the fantastic Kate Bush. And then retro ranking tomorrow is a great American female singer-writer, the fabulous Miss Pat Benatar. So join me for that. Have a great day. I should be back tomorrow. I'm hoping that this will go in overnight. Fingers crossed. But until then, I will see you tomorrow. Take care for now.